Hey, Engineer, please like and subscribe, and follow my Twitter and join my Discord, links down below. I also have a Twitch, and I'm going to be streaming patch 2.0 all day, which going into the main patch notes, it's releasing today. It's already released, so if you're on YouTube and you don't know it, get on the game right now and start updating it. But yes, patch 2.0 has come a day early. This is amazing. Won't have to wait one more day. It's right here, right now. So the patch notes, because the patch notes is live, I'm going to be going through this quick. You can now play the tutorial while the game's downloading. Just something interesting. Perks and gear are now grayed out if you can't equip them. You can now report players after the match. Added tips and tricks to loading screens, so this is such as death makes you die. A lot of mini-map fixes. And they also introduced Last Man Standing. This has been leaked for a while, but basically the last person has increased stats. But they also appear a lot hotter, for lack of a better term, on the heat vision. So that's interesting. Increased fire team damage. Nothing else really important. Minigun now spins up when you aim it. Which is funny because there's just some people requesting that feature and now it's implemented. So yeah, that's going to be a huge buff to it, even though it's still going to suck, but hey, it's decent. Flashbang. Increased blind duration and increased gear weight. So that's going to be interesting. SR3D. Minigun now spins up, yeah. 1011, which is the 1911, increased ammo. Grimtech, which is the other pistol, increased ammo. PDWZ, which is the first SMG, increased close range damage. Hammerhead, increased recoil and lowered close range damage. So that's going to be interesting. Perks, Multitasker, increased ADS movement speed, increased cost. Flesh Ripper, increased damage, increased costs. Sludge Blood, increased time before you bleed out. Efficient, reduced cost. Action Hero, increased cost. Prepper, reduced cost. Thick Skin, increased health, increased cost. That's gonna suck. The perk isn't really gonna be worth it anymore, in my opinion. Unless you're on like the recon, because it was barely worth it in the first place. And so now that you have increased costs, it's just not really worth those points. It's better to use something else. Dexterous, increased cost. Double time, increased movement speed, but increased cost. These really suck, because these are all the main perks. So, yeah, huge meta upheaval. What about the support? Or Dutch or the Assault? These classes are going to have barely anything good anymore. Pigs, reduced cost. Yadra's Bane, increased damage. Tracker, increased spot time, increased cost. Ice Cold, increased reduction of thermal body temperature. So that's just an all-around buff. I found that perk to be mostly trash. Body Armor, increased damage reduction from AI, but increased cost. OWLF, increased damage reduction from Predator. That's nice. I barely noticed it. I don't think it was that good of a perk in my opinion. Of course, this is all without testing, of course. Weapons training, increased reduction of recoil, increased cost. Silent, increased reduction of sound bubble size, reduced cost. Sixth Sense, increased cost. This is good. This was overpowered in every single tournament match I had. Every team ran Sixth Sense. So this is going to be good. They better increase it a lot, though. It better be like 5 or 6, though. Because I don't think 4 is going to cut it. Iron Lungs, increased stamina bonus and reduced cost. I said that weirdly. But yeah, that's a huge buff to Iron Lungs. Predator made improvements preventing Predator transition volumes from blocking projectiles. You no longer auto-claim bodies. I don't know if this works for pigs, because they are technically bodies. But hey, at least you're not auto-claiming fire team members anymore. You no longer have to load in with 2 plasma casters anymore. They fixed that. The Combi Stick City Hunter variant no longer is glitched out. You can now add in color animations without messing the model up. Bug fix, just visuals. You no longer are stuck in ADS as City Hunter when the smart disc hits a wall. I don't know if that goes for the other weapons as well, but there's that. Lowered headshot damage on Yajimbo. So that's interesting. I mean, most people consider the handheld, which is getting a nerf, as much better, so didn't really think that they'd actually nerf that. War Club increased damage on the final melee swing. It's still garbage. You can't land it. That's the problem, is landing the hit. You can make it one shot. It's not going to be meta. Handheld reduced fire rate, increased recoil, and adjust the camera shape. So yeah, it's going to be a lot harder to hit your shots now. Unless the reduced fire rate really slows it down that much. Netgun, increased recoil, which is weird because it has like a really long reload time, so what was that about? And just the camera shake. Bear traps can now be destroyed before they fully deploy, but they're also less visible and you can carry more now. So that's gonna be nice. Clotted, increased effect on that. Energy cell, increased energy reserves, but increased cost. Large pouch, increased cost. That sucks. Berserker is the one class that gets the most out of it, so that's going to make the Berserker way more restrictive now. Resourceful, increased bonus XP. Lightbender, reduced cost. Great, now it feels more of a waste when I put it on my Scout for infinite heat vision and invisibility. Medic, increased heal speed. That's very good. Like, I found it a bit lackluster. Large pouch, increased amount of uses for gear items. So large pouch got buffed. They aren't together, so that is weird, but yeah, that's going to be really nice to make up for that increased point cost. Downrange, increased cost, probably just by 1, which does suck. Increased sound bubbles for spectral awareness, but also an increased cost. Dithered limbs, increased laser visibility reduction, as well as reduced cost, so they recognize that that wasn't a perk that anyone really used. Cooling sinks, reduced perk cost. Long jump, increased leap distance. Long jump is an amazing perk. I'm going to have some fun. Height advantage, increased damage reduction. Impatient, increased cooldown reduction. So that's really good. So you're going to be able to have more second wins. That does cost more, but I feel like that's going to be really good for the meta, because now predator hunting isn't going to be as viable. Hopefully. This does assume that the cooldown buff is big, which we don't have the stats here. Impatient, increased cooldown reduction. No, I read that, sorry. Hanging on, increased duration of second wind. Observant, increased cost. That sucks. Adrenal boost, increased bonus to stamina and exhaustion recovery. Increased cost. You hate the Berserker, don't you, Ilphonic? Like, every perk that the Berserker uses is getting nerfed with increased cost, meaning that the Berserker won't be able to use it. Like, the Berserker's only use is as a melee build, or as a trapper build. Large pouch, gone. No more. It has increased cost, so you won't be able to do the standard mix-ups that I use with it. And now, Adrenal Boost, which is really important for the Berserker won't really be able to use it as much because it had increased cost, so that really sucks. Protection, increased mass damage reduction, reduced cost. Trapper, increased trap difficulty. Ascender, increased core, mountain speed. Heated, reduced cost. Fast hands, increased weapon gear swap speed, and increased cost. Now, if you're interested, I will be streaming Predator Hunting Grounds today. Patch notes live all day today. Link in the description for my Twitch. So just an FYI. Alright, that's all the patch notes. Sorry for any weird noises. I'm doing this in a hurry because I want to get to the game. So I'm not really giving myself a chance to drink any water or let myself breathe. 10 minutes of straight up talking for the most part. So yeah, that's all the patch notes. See you guys out in the hunting grounds.